Today we're going to talk about interest. It's not something that you're interested in, but the extra money that you must pay back when you borrow money. We will cover two concepts in this clip, interest and simple interest. To start with, let's say you're running out of cash and you want to ask someone to lend you a certain amount of money. But we know money is not free to borrow. There is a price to pay. As Benjamin Franklin once said, if you know the value of money, go and try to borrow some. So how much does it really cost to borrow money? Well, different places charge different amounts at different times. But we usually charge this way. The cost you have to afford is calculated as a percent per year of the amount borrowed, and this is called interest. For instance, Alex wants to borrow $1,000. The local bank says 10% interest. So to borrow the 1,000 for 1 year will cost 1,000 times 10%, which is $100. In this case, the interest is 100 and the interest rate is 10%. You know what? People often say 10% interest without saying rate. Of course, Alex will have to pay back the original 1,000 after 1 year, so this is what happens. Alex borrows 1,000 but has to pay back 1,100. This is the idea of interest, paying for the use of money. Let's stop here for a moment. There are some special words used when borrowing money, as shown here. Alex is the borrower. The bank is lender. The principal of the loan is 1,000. The interest is 100. For a loan, there are three basic elements: principal, borrower, and lender. The total of principal and interest is called repayment. So the important part of the word interest is inter, meaning between, just as in words like interior and interval, because the interest happens between the start and end of the loan. Okay, that's all about interest. So what if Alex wanted to borrow the money for 2 years? This will involve simple interest. Simple interest is calculated only on the principal amount, or on that portion of the principal amount that remains. If the bank charges simple interest, then Alex just pays another 10% for every extra year. So for 2 years, Alex pays interest of 1,000 times 10% times 2 years, which is $200. This is how simple interest works. Pay the same amount of interest every year. Let's see another example. Alex borrows 1,000 for 5 years at 10% simple interest. The interest he has to pay goes like this: 1,000 times 10% times 5 years makes $500. Altogether, plus the principal of 1,000 means Alex needs to make a repayment of $1,500 after 5 years. So there is a formula for simple interest. I equals P times R times T, where I equals interest, P means principal, R represents interest rate, and T is time. Okay, you get it? I equals PRT. Okay, here is a task for you. Jane borrowed 3,000 for 4 years at a 5% interest rate. How much interest is that? Alright, let's see. In conclusion, interest is a charge for borrowed money, generally, 8% of the amount borrowed. And the second concept, simple interest. The formula for that is I equals P times R times T, where I is interest, P means principal, R is the interest rate, T means time. Alright, so your assignment today is like this. Jerry borrowed 4,000 for 5 years at 6% simple interest rate. How much interest is that? Right. As Benjamin Franklin once said again, an investment in knowledge pays the best interest. What do you think of this one? Okay. Thank you for watching. Until next time.